All right. We got the rise and fall of Will Levis by another sports channel. It's the first video I'm watching by dog, but this should be interesting, man. Will Levis got a interesting history. Started at Penn State, ended at Kentucky, as you can see. In my opinion, he should have came out a year earlier, but chose not to. Had a bit of a down year at Kentucky by the expectations they had, and ends up getting drafted by the Tennessee Titans. Now, for me, if you know anything about the NFL, Tennessee Titans, in my opinion, haven't had the best luck when it comes to drafting quarterbacks. And I think the last, really, really good quarterback they had was Steve McNair. And one could argue that was the Houston Oilers. It wasn't even the Tennessee Titans. They moved him over there. So, but semantics. I'll just still give him Air McNair. But since then, we got Malik Willis, Will Levis, Vince Young had some flashes. Marcus Mariota had flashes. Personally, I think they gave up on Marcus Mariota a little too soon and went with the safe way of Ryan Tannehill. Now, Ryan Tannehill wasn't bad by any means, but y'all get what I'm saying. We talking about Will Levis today, though.
This quarterback, Kentucky, was supposed to go in the first round. In some mock drafts, he was even projected to go top 5. But here's the thing. Will Levis was this paradox. Scouts, they loved his raw tools, the cannon arm, the frame, the physicality. But his college tape, kind of messy. Sometimes spectacular, other times confusing. But teams take risks on quarterbacks like that all the time, right?
How many of them from where we sit right now look like they might truly be worth tanking over?
3. Absolutely 3. C.J. Stroud, Bryce Young, and Will Levis at Kentucky.
I think the Colts get Will Levis, the quarterback. Here's why. He gives them a little bit of Andrew Luck. Bright, athletic, can move, nice.
This be my problem. I know Colin Cowherd has a lot. He does a lot. I think this is almost like a daily show. But if you comparing brightness, I'm not saying Will Levis is stupid by any means. It's very hard to play quarterback. You got to know everything. But when you talk about Andrew Luck's brightness, that's like a QB savant. They did Will Levis. Nah, he had the physical traits though. Don't get me wrong. Like Will Levis, arm talent, size, speed, the build, that's what you want. That's what you want. But up here, comparing him to Andrew Luck, nah.
Well, unfortunately for Will, he wouldn't go in the first round, or the top 20, or even 30.
The biggest surprise to me, Scotty, was number 4. Maybe I just, I've been on the carrot a little bit too much and listened to the information, but for the last 3.
But however, from how they used to draft, and if I had to redraft, I probably would have took Will Levis over Anthony Richardson. I think not the decision making, that they both not the greatest when it comes to decision making. I think they both needed to sit a year because I think they both played too soon. Now, yeah, if I could go back, I think Will Levis could probably win me more games with that Colts roster than Anthony Richardson could. Just because I don't think they have the team built around the way Anthony Richardson plays. I don't think they have it built the way it should be for a quarterback with his skill set compared to Will Levis. I don't. Nah.
Weeks we've been hearing Will Levis to the Indianapolis Colts. I give Chris Ballard, the GM, a lot of credit. He kept this one.
And that's a fit. That's a fit thing. It's not a talent thing. It's not I think they so much better than the other person. I just think Will Levis probably would have fit what the Colts was doing better than Anthony Richardson. Just be clear.
Seal.
See, this is the part of the draft that hurts to watch. Because behind the highlight reels and the scouting reports, there's a 23-year-old kid watching his dreams drift farther and farther away. He would continue to fall until eventually his name was called at number 33.
The Tennessee Titans select Will Levis, quarterback, Kentucky.
When Tennessee drafted Will, the team, they were at a crossroads. Ryan Tannehill was still on the roster, but the end was near. The team had drafted Malik Willis the year before, but internal confidence in him was already kind of fading. Levis represented something different, a calculated swing at a long-term answer. Training camp buzzed with questions. Could Levis push Tannehill for the job? Would he even be QB2? Or would the Titans continue developing Willis? The answers, they would come in time. Tannehill started that year, and Levis held the clipboard. And then, in week 8, the door opened.
Will's going to be our quarterback. We're gonna go with Will. We think that's the best opportunity for our football.
I think they should have just stuck it out and either just roll with Malik. Because I don't know if they was. I can't remember my memory fading. Just don't let him play the full year. Don't let him play the full year. If anything, let him get. Because they was playing 17 games by this point. Do not just let him. Wait till the last game, even if you want to, or last 2 games to see, or treat it like preseason, and then you get to like week 13 and you either out of it or you in it, and then let them play, give them 4 games and treat it like a preseason. But week 8, he ain't ready. What's changing in week 8 from that? Nah.
Football team right now, and see where he's at. I think Ryan will progress through here this week. I think, and hopeful.
So it was an ankle injury. I still would have rolled with Malik Willis. I mean, he had a year. I think he'd be a little bit more familiar. Will Levis probably just out practiced him to be honest. But it's different when you get in the game, practice in the game.
To be a backup for us and prepare as a starter, but that's where we're at right now.
Tannehill went down with the ankle injury. The Titans were struggling, 2-4. And just like that, the Will Levis era began.
Everybody interested in the youngster out of the University of Kentucky making his debut not only as a starter, but in an NFL game. He's been inactive so far.
In his debut against the Atlanta Falcons, Levis threw 4 touchdown passes. 4.
Levis towards the end zone. Got a man. Touchdown. Wow. And it's the 4th TD pass of the day in the debut of Will Levis.
But this is what I'm talking about, though. Like, he not like it's there. It's there. That's why I thought the Colts was the better situation. You know what I'm saying? They didn't have expectations of probably. You take Anthony Richardson. They knew he was a project guy. You knew it was probably gonna take a year of not having the franchise guy. Just take Will Levis. He the more polished thrower. We seen the throws. Even last year, I seen the throws. He would just do bonehead stuff at certain points where it's like, why would you do that? Like it's there. We seeing it. We seeing the talent. So,
He looked spectacular but solid. Promising. The fan base was split between cautious optimism and full-on hype. In a league starving for quarterbacks, this looked like a win. And then the second year happened. So I've got a question. If you were seriously injured, do you know what your case could be worth? It could be millions. But dealing with traditional law firms, yeah, that's a whole different kind of headache. Paperwork and...
It's going to get past that, my boy. Get your bag, though. Shout out Morgan & Morgan. Get your bag, my boy.
A new coach. They have found their coach. They will hire Brian Callahan, the Bengals offensive coordinator since 2019. He takes over as the head coach of the Tennessee Titans, the replacement for Mike Vrabel.
This really is a lifelong dream of mine to be standing at this podium in front of everybody here. To be this franchise's head coach is a great responsibility and an incredible honor.
If year 1 was the honeymoon, year 2 was the reality check. The Titans entered the 2024 season with Levis as the unquestioned starter. Tannehill was gone, a new offensive coordinator was in, and the keys had been handed over. But right out the gate, something fell off.
On 3rd down and 6, here they come. Gordon's coming. Levis gets wrapped up.
Yeah, this right here, man. This right here, where I was like, hero ball. I know. I think all he had to do right here was just like, he could just took the sack. He didn't have to do that. But hero ball. It ain't for everybody.
Flick to the head. It's picked off. Tyreek Stevenson will give the Bears the lead on another defensive play.
Yeah, they was up. They was up, bro. I knew it. I knew it. I think they could have just punted the ball away and played defense.
The offensive line struggled. The receiving core was inconsistent. Levis looked uncomfortable in the pocket. His mechanics, never pristine to begin with, began to unravel under pressure.
Levis looking. Levis is sacked. Back at the 14. It's Will McDonald. 4th down.
He held the ball too long, missed open receivers, made late throws, took bad sacks. I mean, it was bad.
How frustrated are you with yourself that this team hasn't been able to get over the hump yet?
Yeah, it's tough. I'm the quarterback of an 0-3 football team. That's not something that anyone ever wants to say.
And then came the injuries. He played through it, but it was clear he wasn't right physically or mentally. The Titans lost 8 of their first 11 games. I mean, if you just look at those games, his decision-making was erratic. The confidence that wants to find him, that was gone. And the season was pretty much done for. So, in week 16, the team made a decision that many could see coming. Will Levis would be benched.
And this is no surprise either. Hold the Mayo, as we said earlier. Will Levis to the bench. Mason Rudolph back in. The Will Levis experiment, as you've said, Chris, seems to be over.
It's over for Will.
Man, it's crazy. It's crazy how, one week, the NFL, pro football, pro sports, you go from 1 week, you throw for 4 touchdowns. Throw for 4 touchdowns, man. You the guy. Lose 3 games in a row? Mason Rudolph starting. Goddamn.
Levis is being the starting quarterback of the Tennessee Titans. They're going to bring somebody in next year. He's going to be the backup, and that'll be it.
It was over. And it was over before it ever really got started.
The Tennessee Titans select Cameron Ward, quarterback, Miami.
I ain't gonna shake my head. I ain't shaking my head at Cam Ward. Cam Ward, you know what I'm saying? He a baller. Small school guy. Feel me? Made his way up from the ranks. Was not the highest. He the underdog story, bro. He the underdog story. I wish nothing but the best for Cam Ward,
New era, a new face, and a not-so-subtle declaration. Levis isn't the future. The Titans had seen enough. Despite his youth, despite the flashes, they moved on. Cam Ward was the guy. But the thing is, what happened to Will Levis is not just the Titans' problem. It's an NFL problem. Let me explain. Quarterbacks today are drafted into chaos and expected to be great immediately. No time to learn, no room for mistakes. If you're not elite by year 2, you're expendable. Zach Wilson, Trey Lance, Mac Jones, Sam Darnold, Justin Fields. You see the pattern, right? The league is drafting quarterbacks high and giving up on them faster than ever. For example, Peyton Manning. His rookie year, 28 interceptions. 28. The Colts went 3-13.
Playoffs? Don't talk about playoffs.
He was a mess. Erratic, reckless, but he was given time because that's what development looks like. He learned.
Yeah, that's some. And to touch on that point too, why I was saying, yeah, don't put him in. Don't put him in. Like they know it was a reason they started him. They saw that in practice. That 4 TD game, they were seeing that in practice. So that's why he got the nod. But you trying to win. Mike Vrabel trying to keep his job. Let me throw in a wild card. And then he gets fired anyway. Fast forward, we see that he still wasn't ready. Switch a coach. That's a brand new offense. Some people wasn't comfortable with that. So everything that he was learning and developing and ready to do snatched away from him. And some guys thrive in that. Let's take a Jalen Hurts, for example. Different offensive coordinator every single year. I think since college or something like that. That's underrated thing. Or like what Lamar did last year with Todd Monken's offense for going from Greg Roman's to I think his name was Greg Roman, something Roman, to Todd Monken's offensive system. We seen some growing pains there, and then they throw in a brand new running back, bell cow running back from Tennessee. So these QBs, even Bryce Young last year, people was like, bro, does Bryce Young, did he even deserve to be drafted the way Bryce Young played his first year? And then by the end of his sophomore season, he looking all right. The people taking the Panthers a little bit more serious. They not gonna be a laughing stock, but so the way he was playing, he won a division game against the Falcons. rivalry game. Hey, tune changes. Now it just came out that Anthony Richardson potentially hurt his shoulder, and he might not be ready at the start of the season. I don't know. He might be. I don't know. I hope he is. But if you're ready to give up on guys, he just named a laundry list of people. I think Justin Fields still got a chance, but the other dudes, Sam Darnold made a resurgence. Even Geno Smith made a resurgence. So, hey, maybe these guys just need to get in the right situation, and we got to stop trying to get microwave success. Probably do argue it if you want to, but not Matt Ryan. What's his name? What's the boy name? Dang, I just messed all that up. All right, I'm back where I'm at. But what's his face? Patrick Mahomes. You can say he's the best quarterback in the league. But you think he 2 or 5, whatever you think. Did not play his first year. They let him develop. He had a good offensive coach, good system around him, good defense around him. They built a team, right? Developed him. He was they didn't even when he I ain't gonna get into all that, but I'm just asking for a little bit more development because he hit it on the head when he was talking about patience and all that.
He learned, he improved, and he became one of the greatest quarterbacks in NFL history. Troy Aikman, winless in his rookie year. He went 0-11 as a starter and threw more picks than touchdowns. By today's standards, both Manning and Aikman might have been benched by year 2, labeled bust, replaced before they even had a chance to grow. Imagine if the Colts had used the top pick in the 99 draft to pick another quarterback. Or even if Jerry Jones pulled the plug on Aikman in the 90s. That's the world Will Levis lives in now. Now, I can already read the comments. No, I'm not saying Will Levis is comparable to Manning or Aikman. I'm just simply using him as a microcosm of what problems I feel the NFL has when it comes to player development, especially at the most important position in the sport. The Titans' decision wasn't just about Levis. It was about optics, fan pressure, ownership, and the accelerating pace of the NFL. Now, Cam Ward offers something tantalizing. A modern mobile quarterback with dynamic playmaking ability. He feels like the kind of player you have to bet on in 2025. But that doesn't make Levis's fall any less jarring. He went from starter to bench in less than 2 seasons. And technically, he never truly played a full season of football. Not because he was hopeless, but because he wasn't perfect fast enough. Like it or not, that's the bar now. I never thought I'd put a Will Levis cape on, but here we are. Look, he's only 25 years old. He's 6'4", 230 pounds, and can throw the ball 70 yards flat-footed. His rookie year showed glimpses of real upside. That doesn't just vanish. That's between the ears. Now, is he flawed? Yes. But can he grow? Yes. Realistically, he may never get another uncontested starting job. That's just the percentages of the NFL. Once you've been replaced, you're labeled. You become the maybe backup, the camp arm or insurance policy. But football history is full of players who reinvented themselves. Jared Goff, he's just now hitting his stride. Geno Smith sat for nearly a decade before blossoming. Ryan Tannehill, ironically, had his second act in Tennessee after being written off in Miami. I guess what I'm trying to say is the road ahead won't be easy for Levis, but it's not closed. Not yet. He still has the tools. The question now is whether he can find the right place and the right moment to use them. And if he does, well, he won't be the first quarterback who needed a second chance to get it right.
Yeah, I'm not completely off Will Levis. Like just based off the history of the NFL, he gave plenty of examples. But I'll say this, just because he gave all those examples, like I don't need to reiterate it. Just as fast as you deemed a bust, a camp arm, like he said, backup, clipboard holder, journeyman, all of those things, right? One game can change that. And one person he didn't mention was Baker Mayfield. Baker Mayfield let go by the Browns, had a bad year in Carolina, head coach fired and all that. Signs with the Los Angeles Rams. I think it was a primetime game, leads a game-winning drive against the Raiders and wins them that game. that directly got him a contract with the Buccaneers, and now look where he at. It could change like that, man. So I think it's a good video by bro. I give Will Levis a lot of crap between my friends, but I don't think I have no ill will towards him. I hope he have a successful career. But hey, I like that video, bro. I might do it. I might react to a couple more videos. Let me know what y'all think. Y'all like this? I guess I could tell by the views and the comments and likes and all that. But if you did like it, like the video, comment, and most importantly, subscribe. And without further ado, I'ma get us up out of here. Cool.